That way to kill a man, said Joe, I died. Said Joe, I didn't die.
Hi.
I'm Rick Gold. I came with the group from Missoula, and we're doing a public access TV show about everything that's going on here. Are you helping?
The Billings group just made these and are selling them and giving the money to Montana Women for to thank them for putting on this great day.
And are you part of the Billings group?
We're just a group of women from Billings that believe in peace, justice, and equality, and are glad people are coming out to honor peace, justice, and equality.
Thank you for everything.
Julie Award Howe as the National Day of Peace, and she wrote an absolutely extraordinary proclamation that our beloved Montana woman Jeanette Rankin is going to read for us. So here is Jeanette Rankin, or the ghost of Jeanette Rankin.
I lived through World War II. The only difference between me and you is that you won't live through World War III. I'm going to read Julia Ward Howe's Mother's Day proclamation written in 1870 after the Civil War. Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts, whether your baptism be of water or of tears. Say firmly, we will not have questions answered by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands will not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them. All that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We, the women of one country, will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of a devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own, and it says, disarm, disarm. The sword of murder is not the balance of justice. Blood does not wipe out dishonor, nor violence indicate possession. As men have often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war, let the women now leave all that may be left at home for a great and earnest day of counsel. Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead. Let them solemnly take counsel with each other as to the means whereby the great human family can live in peace. Each bearing after his own time the sacred impress, not of Caesar, but of God. in the name of womanhood and humanity, I earnestly ask that a General Congress of Women without limit of nationality may be appointed and held at some place deemed most convenient and the earliest period consistent with its objects, to promote the alliance of the different nationalities, the amicable settlement of international questions, and with the great and general interests of peace.
Yeah. Woo! Which we have for peace.
Hi! 10 cents for every donut he ate and just left the hole. So Dad would try to eat them and just leave them. There's still a little bit more. The beach is there. What? Nancy went to go get something.
Can you hear me back there? Okay, the next guest I'm introducing, I must tell you, I met her last night. It's such a personal thrill that I'm gaga and starstruck. Half years young. She spent many years working in Seattle in advertising, but what she really did was she was one of our brave labor organizers in Western United States, and any of you who know your history, they ran into a lot of resistance and they had to be really, really gutsy. This is just the most articulate, gutsy, fantastic woman I have met or known, and I'm thrilled to be to introduce her. Let's give her a huge, huge, huge welcome to Elsie Fox.
Thank you. I appreciate all those nice things that you said about me, and I want to voice my appreciation for all of you that are here today, and I want to voice my appreciation for this wonderful organization of Montana Women Are. They have done a spectacular job in working for peace, which we all desire so desperately. They've done a spectacular job, and they are fast becoming a spokesman for we the people. I want to tell you that this organization doesn't run on air, and it needs some money to grease the wheels. And so I'm suggesting today that you give donations and that you can give those to the women in the Liberty costumes that are throughout the audience. Now, I want us to give a big cheer that's going to be heard up the side of the mountains around Bozeman. A big cheer for this organization. So we're going to say, hip, hip, hooray. Say hip, hip, hooray.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Thank you. That's the spirit that we like to hear. I would like to tell you that I was born in 1907. That is a very long time ago, darn near 100 years. I have seen a great deal in this time that I've lived. I remember when my mother voted for the first time. I remember she came home, she lifted her shoulders a little, and she said, I voted today. Now, the reason my mother was able to vote, which meant a great deal to her, was that the suffragettes, those wonderful women called the suffragettes, had worked tirelessly for the right of women to vote. Now, I'm talking about 1914. You realize that women didn't vote before about 1914. The suffragettes worked tirelessly. Maybe you've seen old movies of them marching. They had their puff sleeves, they had their cinched-in waists, and they had their long skirts. But they marched tirelessly in the streets of this country, and particularly in Washington, D.C. And they chained themselves. They went on hunger strikes. They were absolutely brave and tireless. So let's give a big hand to the suffragettes. Getting back to my life, I saw the crash. I saw our industry stop. I saw our banks closed. If you want to imagine what it would be like for the banks to close, these banks had accepted people's deposits of their hard-earned money up until 5:30 the night before, and they knew that next morning at 9 o'clock they were going to put up a sign saying bank closed. And those people never got the full amount of that money back. It was a terrifying experience. I recall I was home because we had no work to do at the office, and I remember sweeping the floor with tears flowing down my face when I heard about the banks closing and people losing all this money. As for everybody's information, one of the reforms that was passed was the Federal Deposit Insurance Act, and that guarantees that that will never happen again. At least it would be a tremendously remote possibility. So we have passed that milestone. I can't tell you what it was like in the Depression, the Great Depression as it was called. I saw hunger. I saw the country stop. I saw fear. Fear of hunger is almost as bad as real hunger. And it is very, very bad. What did we do? What did the people do when this happened? They stood on street corners, talked. They listened to street corner speakers. Neighbors talked about what they could do, and how people were going to pull out of this situation. We marched. That's what we did. We marched. From one end of this country to the other, we marched. I remember a demonstration in Seattle of 10,000 people going down the main street in Seattle. And incidentally, a young man who was later to be my husband led the demonstration. We the People, the Voice of Action, was a newspaper that was established in Seattle, and the purpose of this newspaper, it was a weekly, by the way. It was to educate the people as to what was going on and what could be done about it. In addition to that, we had many, many petitions. By the way, in my opinion, the petition is not used as much in this country as it should be. I think we got to go back to using the petition. It's the greatest form of expression of the people, and believe you me, I know from real experience that politicians listen to petitions. They are very aware of their power. We went door to door selling the voice of action, and mostly going to working class neighborhoods. And I remember that was one of our Sunday activities, was selling the voice of action. We the people formed Townsend clubs, crashed. A lot of the investments that workers and middle class people had made were lost. So people were, of course, concerned that this should not happen again. And so there was a fellow in California named Townsend who started a club to protect the funds of workers and to provide some security for their future. And so this was the beginning of Social Security. Now if there's one thing I want to make it clear today, it is that these things like Social Security, unemployment insurance, these bank reforms, etc., came from the people. They did not come from Washington, D.C. They came from the people. We the women did something very interesting in those days. We boycotted silk. There were not nylon stockings yet, so we were dependent on silk. And we knew that Hirohito was waxing dangerously, flexing his muscles and threatening to expand Japan. And we knew also that the scrap iron that they were buying from us could very possibly come back to this country in the form of bullets, and it did. So we boycotted silk. I remember wearing the most terrible pink-colored cotton stockings. They were not flattering. We the people united to help our neighbors. I want to give you an idea of what it was like. People couldn't pay rent. They had no money. No job, no money. So the landlord, of course, had problems, and so he would eventually evict a family. So this was a scene that I saw. The sheriff's office was taking out this little poor furniture, loading it on a truck, and neighbors on the other side were taking it off the truck and bringing it in through the back door. We the people fought back. Because we marched, because we sent delegations to Washington, D.C., they went in Tin Lizzies, they went in empty boxcars, they went thumbing a ride, they went every way to Washington, D.C. They demonstrated on the mall, and they demonstrated tirelessly. We made ourselves heard through petitions, through delegations, through marching in the streets. The voice of the people, the voice of action, from the grassroots, brought changes. One of the first things that happened to alleviate the situation was that there was all this warehouse, all this surplus food in warehouses. And so the government, through the insistence of the people, the government opened these warehouses and distributed what they called surplus commodities. You've likely heard stories about surplus cheese, etc. So this was one of the first things that was done. Then through the insistence of the people who said they wanted work, not charity, the WPA was established. That was short for Works Progress Administration. Now, I can see that you already are aware of the wonderful things that the WPA did. It built Fort Peck, which at that time was considered the largest moving amount of soil in the world. There was the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority. There was the Hoover Dam. And I'm sure lots of the relatives of people in this audience worked at Fort Peck. These are, and then there were the cultural programs, stage, art, various types of art, wonderful murals that were drawn by the artists, and we're all familiar with the artwork of Diego Rivera, the Mexican muralist. That type of art was very popular then. So we're talking about the good things that came from the action of the people. Social security, unemployment insurance, fair wages for all the people. We can use some of that now, right?
Yeah.
We did it then. You can do it now. One of the things that we must have, if we're going to do anything, is solidarity. Unity. Unity. I'd like to read what I consider a very wonderful thing about solidarity. It was written by Pastor Neil Miller, a Protestant minister in Germany who survived the concentration camps, and he wrote this. When Hitler attacked the Jews, I was not a Jew. Therefore, I was not concerned. And when Hitler attacked the Catholics, I was not concerned. I was not a Catholic. And then Hitler attacked trade unions. I was not a member of a trade union, therefore I was not affected. Then Hitler attacked the Protestant church and me, and there was no one left to be concerned. Isn't that a powerful message? So, what we want to represent is by the people, for the people, from the people. I want to hear a big cheer that will go clear up to the mountains saying, we can win. Say it. We
can win.
Thank you very much.
Now I have the great pleasure of introducing a wild and wonderful friend of mine, the incomparable, now how do I say this? It's Rosalie Sorrells, who's also known as Rosaria Bazaria, the famous outlaw queen. Yeah. Woo! Jerry, I need a sound person or somebody to put the other mic in the right place because I don't know how to do it. Oh, here's one. Here's a handsome young man, Miss Rosalie. And also, there are apparently still carloads of people coming up, so if you really could please move in from the back so people can just fill in as they come. That would be great because it's pretty sparse up here and fuller in the back, and if we could have the reverse of that, that would be great. Miss Rosalie Sorrells.
Thank you. Now, that was great. I just love that. I'm going to start out with a song by a friend of mine who was born in 1900. Her name is Malvina Reynolds. She was a huge effect on me in my whole life. She saved my life and helped me learn how to live with a little more class than I think I had before. And she also wrote a poem that sort of introduces the song. She died in 1977. She hadn't quite got to be 77 yet. She was just a couple of months short of it. But she'd been thinking about it a lot. And she wrote this song not too long before she died. And the poem, too. You can't hear. Come closer. I can't yell. I'm entirely too old to yell. This is Malvina's poem. I'll get a little harder in on the mic for you. If this world survives, and every other day I think it might, in a large part it will be because of the great souls in our community. There are a lot of them. I've seen them walk in lonely thousands down a city street, or turn the handle of a print machine, or empty their pockets when the plate comes by, or gaze into the camera's eye and answer the question, will this world survive? And they have said, we'll try. We'll try. So that's her poem, and this is the song that goes right with it. You hear the guitar a little bit? Baby, I ain't afraid to die. It's just I'd hate to say goodbye to this world, to this world, to this world. This whole world is mean and cruel. Still I love it like a fool. It's this world, it's this world, this world. I'd rather go to the corner store than sing Hosanna on a golden shore. I'd rather live on Parker Street than fly around where all the angels meet. And this old world is all I know. It's dust to dust when I have got to go from this world, this world, this world. Yeah, baby, I ain't afraid to die. It's just I'd hate to say goodbye to this world, this world, this world. Yeah, this old world is mean and cruel, but I love it. Yeah, I love it like a fool. It's this world, it's this world, this world. Oh, and somebody else is gonna take my place. There'll be some other hands, some other face, some other eyes are gonna look all around. see all the stuff that I never found. Hey, don't you weep for me when I am gone, just to keep this old world rolling on. It's this world, it's this world, it's this world. Yeah, baby, I ain't afraid to die. It's just I'd hate to say goodbye to this world, this world, this world. Ah, this old world, it's mean, it's cruel, but I love it. Hey, I love it like a fool. It's this world, it's this world, it's this world, this world. Okay, well, I want to read you one other little message from the great beyond. That's the worst thing about getting old. Your friends start popping up with monotonous regularity. You're still there. It makes you lonesome. Recently, I lost one I really liked a lot. It was my friend Hunter Thompson. He was a good one. And I met him at about 62, and I knew him best when he was writing some of this stuff. It's just my favorite. My favorite was Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail in 1976. And this is a message from there. It seems to apply more every year. This may be the year when we finally come face to face with ourselves. Finally just lay back and say it, that we really are just a nation of 220 million used car salesmen. With all the money we need to buy guns and no qualms at all about killing anyone else in the world who tries to make us feel uncomfortable. The tragedy of all this is that George McGovern, for all his imprecise talk about new politics and honesty in government, is one of the few men who've run for President of the United States who really understands what a fantastic monument to all the best instincts of the human race this country might have been if we could have kept it out of the hands of greedy little hustlers like Richard Nixon. McGovern made some stupid mistakes, but in context they seem almost frivolous compared to the things Richard Nixon does every day of his life on purpose as a matter of policy and a perfect expression of everything he stands for. Jesus, where will it end? How low do you have to stoop in this country to be president? I guess we found out, didn't we? This was written by a newspaper man named Vern Partlow. Great guy. He had that sort of ruined looking face like movie newspaper guys. B.J. Cobb or something. He wrote this in 1948. I'm going to preach you a sermon about old man Adam. I don't mean to get all the people in the world with you. You get them all together and let out a yell, and the first thing you know, they'll blow this world into Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Alamogordo, Bikini. Life used to be such a simple joy. The cyclotron was a super toy. Folks got born, they'd work and marry, and Adam was a word in the dictionary. Then it happened. Them science boys from every clime, they all pitched in with overtime. Before you knew it, the job was done. They hitched up the power of the dog-darn sun, splitting atoms. While the diplomats was splitting hairs. Now with all these foreign-born atoms, we're going to extinguish every damn atom that can't speak English. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Alamogordo, spreads internationally in spite of hysteria. It flourishes in Utah and in Siberia. Whether you're red, white, black, or brown, question is this when you boil it down, to be or not to be? Yeah, that is the question. And the answer to the question ain't military datum, like who gets there firstest with the mostest atom. The people of the world gotta decide their fate. They gotta stick together or disintegrate. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all of us must be created equal. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Alamogordo, Bikini. It's up to the people, because the atom don't care. You can't fence him yet. He's just like air. He don't give a damn about politics or who got what into whichever fix. He just wants to sit around, have his nucleus bombarded by neutrons. And the moral of my story is plain as day. Old man Adam is here to stay. He's going to stick around. It's plain to see, but oh my dearly beloved are we. Hiroshima, you can see there. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Alamogordo, New York, London, Baghdad, Shanghai and Paris, Lord, they all go up the flue. You can choose between humanity and smithereens. So listen, my children, here's my thesis. Peace in the world, or the world in pieces. Stop the world, brothers. Stop the world, sisters. Children, children, stop the world. I want to get off. Okay, well, I want to sing you one more. This is in honor of the day. It's Mother's Day. Nah, that's too sad. I can't sing that one today. I wrote this for my daughter. I have 3 daughters. I have 2 sons. One's gone down. One still is. 5 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. Whatever we do, we have to remember there's them. They have to come after us. We better not leave it too dirty. I wrote this for my daughter Shelley when she was 14. She's almost 50 now. Amazing. Rude. 14 is usually pretty awful for everybody. And I wrote it right after we had the conversation about whether or not the library stays open till 4 o'clock in the morning. I told her I'd been to that library myself. And my mother never bought that story either. So here's a song for daughters and all children. What can I say? But that it's not easy. I cannot lift the stones out of your way. I can't cry your bitter tears for you. I would if I could. What can I say? We're not one, we're worlds apart. You and I, child of my body, full of my bone, the pull of my heart. Like a young tree, I'll see you sway and bend. I'm so afraid afraid you might break, tossed by the wind, all the storms that come your way, and careless strangers seeing fruit who reach out to take. We're not one, we're worlds apart, you and I. Child of my body, bone of my bone, apple of my eye. I know my love must seem a distant thing to you. There's so many I must give it to. It'll flow like a river to the sea. There'll be no end to it till there's an end to me. Yeah, we're not one, we're worlds apart, you and I. Child of my body, bone of my bone. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
These lovely costumes that we wear at Montana Women for. We'd like to see a sea of green. We've got a whole bunch of them up at the front. We'd really encourage you to buy one if you're female and just hanging around and join us, because there's nothing more wonderful than a sea of dancing green going down the street. True to what Elsie told us, there are petitions circling the crowd, and there's 3 different colored ones, and I've forgotten what they say, but you please read them before you sign them and make sure it's something you believe in. Now I get to introduce a man who's so talented I don't even know what to call him. Playwright, actor, producer, singer. He's kind of everything. I had the honor of being in the world premiere of his play, and he's just brilliant and wonderful. Here he is, Greg Owens.
What's up, Patriots? Never underestimate an education, because it's great to learn how to decipher, read and write and spell. And if you learn about the ABC, the GOP and GOD, then you'll go to heaven, not HEL. And all you really need to know will tell you when it's time. Meanwhile, don't you worry your simple minds about anything at all. 1 + 1 is 2, unless you're counting votes in Florida. And then it helps if the governor is your bro, you know? Because half the people can be fooled all the time, and the other half are liberal swine. And Jesus has a plan for them, you know. If you think democracy is still alive and well, then I've got some oceanfront property to sell in Idaho. La 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 la, oh la la, zippity-doo-dah-dah. Karl Rove is an alien crackhead. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Dooby, where are you? Boo-hoo-hoo, cuckoo-cuckoo. And you know Joe McCarthy ain't really dead. Just look at all them states that are red. Back in 1492, old Chris Columbus knew what to do. Kill off the Indians and steal all of their land. And now we're back in old Baghdad, blowing up everything they had. Still executing that same old American plan. But don't think for a minute I support the enemy, 'cause I blew $25 on John Kerry. Oh, silly me! Evolution's a theory that can't be true. It's clear, you see. Just take a look at our brand new King George. Now when you watch him problem solve, you'll know we have not evolved since we ran mastodons into the gorge. But at least we know there'll be no child left behind when we draft them off to the front line. Just give him time. And now my song is almost sung, and it's time for me to run before the Secret Service comes to call. 'Cause now with the Patriot Act, freedom of speech has no impact, and no offense, but I don't trust y'all. Do, run, Dynamite, run, Joey, run. Richard Cheney says just call me Dick. Rock the Casbah, she says bye, nah. America ain't dead, she's just real sick. Wave to the satellites.
What do we want?
Peace!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Peace!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Peace!
Ain't no power like power, people and power, people and power. Ain't no power like power, people and power, people and power.
Ain't no power like the power of people, and the power of people will come. All right. Peace.
Somebody somewhere had another plan, and now he's got a rifle in his hand, rolling in the back and wondering how he got this far. He's just another poor boy off to fight a rich man's war. Bobby had an eagle and a flag tattooed on his arm. Red, white, and blue to the bone when he landed in left behind a pretty young white baby girl, and looking dry. Meanwhile, back at home, the finance company took his car. He's just another poor boy off to fight a rich man's war. When will we ever learn? When will we ever see? Stand up and take our turn from telling ourselves we're free. Ali was a second son of a second son. Grew up in Gaza throwing bottles and rocks with a taxi cab. Ain't nothing much to do around here, it's just a game of chicken play. something about living in fear all your life makes your heart that way. So he answered when he got the call, wrapped himself in death and he praised out loud. A fat man in a new Mercedes drove up to the door. He's just another poor boy off to fight a rich man's war. He's just another poor boy off to fight a rich man's war. Woo! Thanks everybody. That's a Steve Earle song.